What's up? This is Trey T, and in this video, I will discuss how Lamar Jackson is a great football player, but an overrated quarterback. As much as I want to blame the Cleveland Browns for stupidly overpaying Deshaun Watson $230 million guaranteed, I'm actually going to say this started when Kirk Cousins left the Washington Redskins to sign with the Minnesota Vikings, and they gave him a guaranteed $84 million, which you never really saw like in the NFL, because anything can happen in the NFL. Players get injured and stuff all the time. You never really saw guaranteed money of that big of a large of amount in the NFL before Kirk Cousins got $84 million guaranteed. So then you start getting, then Patrick Mahomes got his like $180 million guaranteed. So now you look at the it's $141 million guaranteed. But now you look at the quarterbacks. Now Deshaun Watson, $230 million guaranteed. Kyler Murray, $189.5 guaranteed. Russell Wilson with my Broncos, which I hope they don't come back to bite the Broncos. They just gave Russell Wilson $165 million guaranteed. Aaron Rodgers, $150 million guaranteed. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff and Carson Wentz are based off what they did like 5 years ago. So now everybody is thinking, well, if you paid that to Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson has an MVP and they went 13-2, 14-2. Lamar Jackson is about to get like $250 guaranteed. But now let me get into Lamar Jackson. This is my thing with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, like I said, is a great football player. But as a quarterback, and I'm strictly talking quarterback, because I know so many people are going to be like, oh, man, you hating, man. Why you hating on the brother, man? Why you hate? I'm not hating. I'm getting, like, you have eyes. You can look at these numbers for yourself. I'm just giving you facts. When it comes down to passing, I'm only talking passing. That's the only thing I'll say. Lamar Jackson is overrated as a passer, not as a football player. As a football player, Lamar Jackson is top 10, maybe even top 5 as a football player. But as far as passing the damn ball, Lamar Jackson may barely scrape by as a top 15. Just like, look at his passing yards. Yeah, I understand the point is to score touchdowns. And yes, he did throw 36 touchdowns in 2019. And he backdoored that with 26 touchdowns in 2020. That's some regular season shit, though. Look at his passing yards. That's regular season. But when you get to the playoffs, Look at the difference between his passing yards and his rushing yards. Most of that is because he's able to run so well. That's why I give him the credit for being a great football player, because he can run it and he can pass it, but he just can't pass it as well as he can run it. But the thing is, he's able to do all this shit in the regular season because Baltimore is a good team. They have a good defense. They don't really have a good wide receivers, and I'm gonna get into that later on in the video. But Mark Andrews, of course, is his security blanket. But in a regular season, you get to beat up on teams that are not really that good. So those numbers will look like that. But when you get to the playoffs, mostly all the teams in the playoffs, like you may have one or two teams in the playoffs that's just like, they really shouldn't be there. They got lucky. They were in a sorry division or some shit like that. But most of the teams that's in the playoffs, they're there for a reason. They earned that spot. And we've seen for 4 years now, when he gets to the playoffs and teams force him to have to throw the ball, he cannot do it. He cannot do it successfully. All that running shit, they shut that shit down in the playoffs. You're not doing all that shit in the playoffs. Nobody is gonna let you do that shit in the playoffs. And he still haven't even played, like, he haven't played a Bill Belichick defense in the playoffs yet. Like, they force him to have to pass the ball. They not gonna let you run. If you go beat us, they like, okay, if you go beat us, you go beat us running the ball. You go beat us, having to beat us throwing the ball. Like, let's go back to his very first playoff game against the Los Angeles Chargers. And also, I'll give him credit. That was his first playoff game. You're a rookie. You made it to playoffs, and you didn't even play the whole season, and you got thrown out there in the playoffs. I give you that. But what the Chargers did was, okay, you like to run the ball, you fast. Okay, well, we go take our linebackers out, and we go put a whole bunch of defensive backs in there. So if you do break loose, you're not going to get too far because we going to have speed on speed. You fast, we throw our fastest defenders out there to catch you. And then if you do try to throw it, we got 6 or 7 DBs out there. So what you go do? And that's what the Chargers did. So if you look at this video right here, they put those DBs out there and forced them to have to throw the ball and forced them to throw interception. So basically, they shut down the run and forced him to have to pass, and that was the result. And again, I already know it's going to be people who watch this video, and some may comment, oh, man, you just hating on Lamar Jackson, man. You hating on that dude, hating on that brother. Especially black people, because I know black people, they love Lamar Jackson. And I'm black, but I just call it like it is. Like, if it's a problem, I'm going to point that shit out. And my whole thing is, like I said, I'm looking what I see with my eyes. I'm not talking about Lamar Jackson as a man. I'm not talking about him as a person, what kind of person he is, any of that. I'm strictly talking about Lamar Jackson as a quarterback, passing the ball. Can he pass the ball consistently? That's all I'm talking about. I'm not hating on this man. Get your money, but I'm just saying, if it was me, I'm not about to give this man no $250 million when he hasn't shown me he can consistently throw the ball. I'm not about to do that. I made a list of quarterbacks that I feel can consistently throw the ball better than Lamar Jackson. Not that they're better football players, but if I'm talking, I'm strictly talking about passing the ball. I feel like these quarterbacks are better passers, throwers of the actual ball than Lamar Jackson is. And I forgot Kyler Murray on this list, but Kyler Murray should be on here too. But Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, Derek Carr, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, hell, even Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards. Granted, he had 2 great receivers and some tight ends. Matt Ryan, Deshaun Watson. I feel like those players are better throwers of the ball than Lamar Jackson. And I do feel like, I'm not a big Baker Mayfield fan, but as far as throwing the ball, I feel like Baker is throwing the ball, better at throwing the ball than Lamar Jackson is. And I have more hopes for Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball over his career than I do Lamar Jackson. Maybe Lamar Jackson can get better at throwing the ball. I hope he does, because I would love to see, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to make this a black and white thing, but I would love to see a black quarterback just like win the Super Bowl and win Super Bowl MVP. And when I say a black quarterback, like Russell Wilson won and Patrick Mahomes won. And yes, Doug Williams, but it's been a long time since Doug Williams won. I'm talking about like complexion-wise. That's when I say black, I mean complexion-wise. Yes, Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes are black. But I'm just talking complexion wise. A black ass dude like me, I would love to see that person win a Super Bowl, win Super Bowl MVP, and it mainly be because of their arms. Because it's always been a stigma about black quarterbacks. Oh, only thing they can do is use their legs. They can use their legs. And then when somebody like Patrick Mahomes comes on, somebody like to point out, oh, well, you know, Patrick Mahomes is mixed, right? He's white and black, so that's why he can throw the ball so well. But then Russell Wilson, they'll discredit Russell Wilson. Oh, well, he only won because of Seattle's defense. He's not the reason why they won. He's the reason why they lost, though, because they didn't want Marshawn Lynch to be Super Bowl MVP and all that shit. And as a Bronco fan, if I weren't a Bronco fan, when the Broncos played the Panthers in the Super Bowl, if the Broncos would have lost to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, and it wouldn't have been the Patriots and the Panthers in the Super Bowl, I would have been rooting for Cam Newton to win that Super Bowl and get Super Bowl MVP. One, because I hate the Patriots, but I would have been rooting for Cam Newton because it was so many racist ass comments leading up to the Super Bowl of people in the comment section saying Cam Newton is a thug and he doesn't belong in the NFL and he's spoiled and all this other shit. So yeah, I would have if the Broncos, if it weren't the Broncos, Cam Newton and the Panthers were playing in that Super Bowl, I would have been rooting for Cam Newton. But since he was playing my Broncos, you damn right I'm gonna root for my Broncos. But that's the only thing I'm saying about Lamar. You gotta show me. I'm all this running and that's cool. Michael Vick is one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, but even Michael Vick can throw the ball. Michael Vick may have one of the strongest arms ever, and probably Michael Vick probably has the prettiest spiral I've ever seen any quarterback throw the damn ball. But that was, to me, when people try to compare Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson, I say, well, Vick can throw the ball. Like, I'm not going to talk about on some accurate type shit, but Vic can throw it deep to where it's it looks pretty when he throws it. And that was my problem. Lamar Jackson kind of reminds me of Cam Newton. Both him, if you look at the release of Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson, it looks weird when it comes out their hand. And I'm not talking, because Phillip Rivers shit was weird too. And I never knew until like later on in life that Phillip Rivers really didn't throw the ball. He like pushed the ball. And now every time I look at highlights of Phillip Rivers, I just laugh at that shit after I found that out. Because it was funny, but Phillip Rivers had so much success with that shit. And I know it's so many people out there that may not like Deshaun Watson for what he's accused of doing and what you think he did and all that. But you cannot deny Deshaun Watson is a better passer than Lamar Jackson is. Look at Deshaun Watson numbers. Deshaun Watson only started 6 games. Like, Lamar Jackson started 7 games his rookie year. Deshaun Watson started 6 games and had 19 touchdowns. Look at Deshaun Watson's touchdown to interception ratio. The only thing Deshaun Watson, he had a lot of sacks. I'm going to put that on the Texans line. But just look at his 104 touchdowns to 36 interceptions. Like, the two are not even comparable throwing the ball. And I didn't even put Deshaun Watson rushing numbers up there. His rushing numbers are not like Lamar Jackson, but he can run the ball when he wants to also. But then, if you go look at both of their playoff performances, Lamar Jackson has played 4 playoff games. Deshaun Watson has played 3. But look at the passing yards. Lamar Jackson is 1-3 in the playoffs. Deshaun is 1-2. But look at the passing yards and the touchdowns. Lamar Jackson threw for 365 yards, but you got to remember, they were already down 28-7 versus Tennessee. So a lot of those yards, so when you already getting blown out 28-7. And then you can kind of say the same thing for Deshaun Watson too, because the Chiefs ended up, even though Deshaun them went up 24-0, the Chiefs ended up winning like 51-31 or something like that. But still, look at the intercept. Like, in total for the playoffs, Lamar Jackson has 3 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Like, all right, let's just look at the last 10 MVP quarterbacks. Because people love to say, well, Lamar Jackson got an MVP, that's why he deserved that money. And again, Lamar Jackson mainly got the MVP because he ran the ball so well. It wasn't based off his throwing. Because if you compare his throwing to all the other 9 quarterbacks that won MVP, it's not even close. Yeah, he threw for 36 touchdowns. I'll give you that. But look at the yards. Look at all the other quarterbacks compared to the yards. And you'll see the thing that he is better at is rushing. That's why I compared him to Cam Newton. Cam Newton really shouldn't have won that MVP either if it wasn't for his running. That's why Cam Newton won the MVP. Same with Lamar Jackson. Because Tom Brady had better numbers than Cam Newton. So like I said, in the playoffs, all that running stuff where he had 1,206 rushing yards, they not letting him run in the playoffs. And now you see that 3,127 passing yards that's showing up in the playoffs because he not being able to pass the ball consistently because they shutting down the run and telling them, okay, we forcing you to pass the ball. I dare you to pass the ball. Do it. Show us you can do it. Show us you can beat us with your arm. And he's not doing that. Even the one playoff game they did win against Tennessee, they won 20-13. They barely won that game. Like, it was the same with Cam Newton. Carolina played great defense. Cam Newton ran the ball. But you saw in the Super Bowl against the Broncos, against that no-fly zone secondary that the Broncos have, they forced Cam Newton to have to throw the ball, and he couldn't do it consistently. The Broncos had that on lock. And that's what teams do to Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. They shut that shit down. We gonna make you have to beat us throwing the ball. And that's my only thing. I'm not hating on this brother. But I'm saying, if it's me, I'm not giving you that money. Like, all right, put it like this. If Lamar Jackson is really that great of a quarterback, point to me which one of these receivers right here, these top receivers, would say, hell yeah, I want to go to Baltimore and play with Lamar Jackson. Name me one of these receivers that'll say that shit. The only receivers that'll say they would play with Lamar Jackson are washed up receivers or receivers that nobody else wants. The Dez Bryants, the Antonio Browns. Those are the ones that'll say, I'll go play with Lamar Jackson. You're not about to hear Jamar Chase say he want to play with Lamar Jackson or Keenan Allen or Travis Kelce or Deebo Samuel, AJ Brown. They're not about to play with no Lamar Jackson. Because you know why? Because they want the ball. Cooper Kupp is not about to go play with Lamar Jackson because they know their numbers are going to go down. A receiver is not going to go to a running team because receivers want the ball. Why would I go to a team that's mainly going to run the ball? So that's my whole thing. I'm not hating on Lamar Jackson. I'm just saying he's an overrated passer. People are the MVP. They love to bring up the MVP, but like he didn't win MVP because of his passing. He won MVP mainly because of his rushing. You see his numbers then went down ever since that MVP season. So again, I'm not hating. I'm just presenting you facts. You do whatever you want to with the facts, but I'm just putting them out there for you to see. But as always, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like and comment. More videos coming soon. Trey T out. Peace.